Hello and welcome to this new course on Trados Studio 2022. I'm going to explain in this introduction course the way the translation workflow is working. So we start from the very beginning and we get to the final stage of a translation process. And from the beginning to the end, I will explain you step by step how we can proceed in order to get our document translated from one language into another. So, starting with Trados Studio 2022, we will have our software ready to be opened and work with it. But the first thing we will do is receive the document that we are going to translate. So, for example, the translation workflow starts with the original document to be translated, and we assume that this document is in the English language. So I will be receiving either through email or through any other means of communication an instruction manual. It could be in any format, but let's assume that this is in a docx edited with Microsoft Word, even if, as we know, Microsoft Word is not the most appropriate software we can use in order to edit or write instruction manuals. But let's assume that our document is a docx format. We know that in general, we might receive documents that could be in PowerPoint, for example, with the extension PPTX, or it could also be in Excel, XLSX, or any other, for example, HTML documents. We might receive, for example, IDML documents edited with InDesign software. This is very appropriate for editing instruction manuals, for example. But we also have, for example, PDF documents. We could also receive MIF documents edited with PageMaker, or even XTG edited with QuarkXpress, and many others. Then once we have received the document that we need to translate, we need to open SDL Trados 2022. So the software will open up in our computer and we will start creating a project. And while we are creating the project, we will be asked to import the document that we want to translate, and we will be importing the instructional manual in docx format. And Trados Studio 2022 will create a related document called SDL-XLIF, which is the document where we are going to be working all through the translation workflow. So actually, we are not working on Microsoft Word. So once we have imported the document, we will be working on a document with the extension SDL-XLIF, which is the document created by Trados. And thanks to this document, we will be able to deploy all the resources, all the language resources that Trados can rely on. For example, we may have the translation memory, which is the most important language resource. And the translation memory is actually a repository of sentences that we have already translated in the past. And all our translations that we have done in the past are memorized sentence by sentence in this big, large, wide repository. And when we are translating this instruction manual, we might come across a sentence that we have already translated in the past. And if the sentence is exactly the same, we might be facing with a full match sentence. So that means that the similarity is 100% correspondent. So in this case, the sentence will be delivered by the translation memory, and we will just need to confirm it and move further to the next sentence. So we don't need to modify it, or at least if we think that it is okay as it is, because we are always free to modify a full match sentence if we want to. Anyway, from the translation memory, we might also receive, other than full matches, we might receive fuzzy matches, which are sentences that are similar to those that we have already translated in the past, and the similarity goes from 99% down to 75%. So this correspondence is a fuzzy correspondence. So definitely we need to modify something. We might need to delete a term, a word, or we might change it, we might make it plural, we might make it singular, we might add some extra words. So we need to do something, because being a fuzzy match, it means that the sentence that we are about to translate has come from the translation memory, but it's not exactly the same. So we need to bring some changes. And then, of course, if we are not so lucky to receive either full matches or fuzzy matches, we might receive no matches. That means that the similarity is very low, down to 74% until 0%. So that means that it is better for us to start the translation from scratch, because any translation that we have already done in the past might be some similarity, but the similarity will not be of any help for us. So it's better to start the translation of the sentence from scratch. So in this case, we would receive no match from the translation memory. Okay, so along with the translation memory, another very important language resource that we may connect to our project is the term base, or it is also called glossary. So the glossary is slightly different from the translation memory because it is a repository of terms. Terms that can be made up of one word, two words, three words maybe, but obviously not a full sentence. So in this case, we might have term bases related to a certain subject, for example, technical subject, or for example, medical subject, or we can say financial, we can say accounting, we can say IT technology. So we might have many subjects for which we already have translated quite a lot of stuff, and we might have recorded some useful term bases and some useful terms that we have collected and stored in this repository, which is called term base. So the term base is another important language resource that can be connected to our project. Then once the translation memory and the term base is connected to our project, we will be starting to translate the document from the very first sentence till the last one. And once we have done the full translation with the help of translation memories and glossaries, we certainly want to obtain the final document that we need to deliver to the customer. And in this case, we will need to export the final version of the translated document. And we have assumed that the target language is Italian. So in this case, we will be creating a document like this. So instruction manual has become Manuale delle Istruzioni. And this document that is going to be exported from Trados will always keep the same formatting. So it will be a docx format file, and all the formattings will have completely be kept in the final document. So if we have, for example, tables, if we have pictures, if we have bulleted sentences, terms, if we have numbers, so anything that was present in the instruction manual will be kept in the Manuale delle Istruzioni. And obviously, at the end, we will have this document that we can deliver to the final customer. And we can say that the translation workflow has come to an end. So this is how we can use Trados Studio 2022 from the very beginning to the last stage of the translation. So this is just a general view of what the course is going to be, and we will go through all the different stages step by step through the different sections and lectures of the course. Thank you for watching.